House Republicans are not fighting, they're fleeing. Donald Trump's MAGA house of cards is crumbling, and I have all the details for you next in an episode we can call
It's Trump's fault.
It's Donald Trump's fault. Maybe it's Trump's fault.
I'm Dan, and welcome to another Occupy Democrats Report. Please hit that subscribe button to get updates on everything that's Trump's fault. And today he did not disappoint, as there's a major story trending that he doesn't want you to hear. The Trump train is hitting the congressional wall at full speed. I'll share the expose by Axios. That is the breaking story in just a minute. But let's begin with a connected report by MSN Now that features the Bulwark's Tim Miller, a former GOP insider. Watch as he breaks down how the fuse on the MAGA explosion was lit by former Trump worshiper and now escapee Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, look, you laid out nicely in the beginning how this is similar to how some have in the Republican Party have spoken out against Trump and then retired in the past. And we're seeing that trend continue, which at some level shows that he still, has a hold over the party. I think that the element that's different, that is most interesting, is the language that she used in stepping aside. I'll leave it to Greg through his reporting and to psychologists to determine what is happening in her brain and how serious she is about this and what exactly motivating it. But just taking the language at face value, she is basically saying that I wanted to do work on behalf of the MAGA base that Donald Trump had promised, he was going to work for. And I couldn't do it because Congress was never in session and because the elites within the party, have succumbed to the influence game of Washington, to the deep state, to the tech elites, right? That's essentially her argument. Her argument that, you always heard from the populace, from the MAGA populace, one common critique was that there was this uniparty in Washington. Democrats and Republicans might disagree on certain issues, but at the end, they were on the side of the rich. They were on the side of the, military and the security state. And they were on the side of corporations. They weren't on the side of you. Well, now Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying that's Donald Trump. He had promised you that he was going to be different. He's going to be an outsider that was going to go after those institutions, but he's been co-opted by them, and he likes partying with them. So she didn't use him by name, but in the statement, that's very clear what she's talking about. And that is powerful. And that is very different from the other people that have separated from Donald Trump in the past, because she's coming at him from the place of his core base of support and his core strength. And if even 5% of the MAGA base agree with her, if more do, even better. But if even 5% or 10% agree with her, that is crippling to Donald Trump's power. That is the first time that he would actually lose the people that powered his rise. And so in that sense, I think it was a powerful resignation statement. I think probably would have been more powerful if she was making that argument from within the halls of Congress.
But wait, there's more. That's just the tip of the congressional iceberg disaster. The Axios title reads, "The Worst Good-Paying Job in America." But that grossly understates the trouble that is brewing in Trumptown. Have a listen to some of the highlights.
Death threats and infighting are spurring House Republicans to contemplate whether they want to stay in Congress or even leave early. Why it matters. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's scathing resignation has rattled her colleagues. Some are questioning whether the job is still worth it when the work is drowned out by censures, violent threats, and loyalty tests to President Trump. 41 members have already announced they plan to call it quits at the end of their term, with more expected to follow. Most House lawmakers make $174,000 a year. What they're saying, Representative Don Bacon, who is retiring in 2027, told Axios he was so angry at the Trump administration's proposed 28-point Russia-Ukraine peace plan last week that he thought about resigning early. Representative Tim Burchett told Axios on Monday the threats have been a factor in members' decision to leave. It takes a toll on people, he said. Retiring Representative Jared Golden and Greene both said the uptick in political violence was part of their decisions to leave Congress. The big picture, Greene said Congress has been sidelined by Johnson under full obedience to the White House. Representative Victoria Spartz echoed Greene's sentiment, writing on X, "I can't blame her for leaving this institution that has betrayed the American people."
Those are just the highlights. For the full story, visit Axios.com. This isn't just a story about lawmakers getting tired of Congress. It's a cautionary tale of what happens when a president infects everything with fear, rage, and division. The House was not designed to function as Trump's personal kingdom or grievance chamber, but that's what it's become, a place where his hostile feelings matter more than policy or a functioning democracy. And that hostility puts people at risk. When Trump raises the temperature, Democrat lawmakers are of course at risk, but Republicans who defy him also draw the ire of the crazies that occupy the darkest corners of the MAGA base. Marjorie Taylor Greene is Exhibit A, and she has spoken about the threats she receives. And now she's also Exhibit A among the lawmakers who are fleeing as a result of Trump's dumpster fire inferno.